Not interested. I have a girlfriend. Rohani blinked. Oh, she glanced at Vine again. Oh, that single "oh" carried a lot of meaning. Vine narrowed her eyes slightly. Rohani recovered quickly. Well, if things ever change, Jungkook looked unimpressed. They won't. Rohini smiled thinly. We will see. Then she walked slowly. Vine watched her go. Then she turned toward Jungkook. We will see. She is persistent and she is still annoying. Jungkook chuckled. You're definitely jealous. I'm not jealous. You absolutely are. She grabbed his arm and pulled him toward the door. Let's go. Where? Away from that girl. The rest of the day, Vine tried to forget about Rohini. She failed because somehow Rohini appeared everywhere. At the cafeteria, near the library, even walking across the campus courtyard. Every time Vine spotted her, the girl seemed to be looking at Jungkook's direction. By evening, Vine was irritated, very irritated. Jungkook noticed immediately when she arrived at his apartment. You look like you want to fight someone. Maybe I do. He closed the door behind her. Rohini? Yes. You're jealous and you're not admitting it. Funny. I'm not jealous. Oh, you're very jealous. I can see that in your eyes. She literally asked you out and I said no. She said we will see. Jungkook leaned casually against the wall. You trust me, right? Vine buzzed. Yes. Then relax. She sighed. I know. Then she looked at him again. But she's still annoying. That's fair. For the 2 days things stayed quiet. Rohini didn't approach Jungkook again, which made Vine assume the problem had ended. She was wrong. Because Friday afternoon something happened that pushed Vine's patience to his limit. She was walking toward the campus cafe when she spotted Jungkook sitting at a table. But he wasn't alone. Rohini sat across from him, laughing, leaning forward slightly. Vine stopped walking, her stomach twisted before because Jungkook looked relaxed, like he wasn't bothered by the conversation. Vine slowly walked closer. Rohini noticed her first. Oh, hi, Vine. Vine forced a polite smile. Hi. Jungkook looked up. Hey. She looked at. What is this? Rohini answered before Jungkook could. We were just talking about what? Economics? Vine stared at her. Really? Yes. Jungkook sighed quietly. She asked about the group assignment. Vine crossed her arms. She couldn't ask her own group. Rohini struggled. Jungkook explains things well. Vine's smile became tight. I'm sure he does. The tension around the table was thick. Jungkook stood up. Rohini was leaving. Rohini stood slowly. She looked at Vine with that same thin smile. Nice seeing you again. Then she walked away, Vine watching her go. Then turned to Jungkook. You were having coffee with her? She sat down without asking. You didn't tell her to leave. That would be creating an unnecessary scene. She threw her hands in the air. You're unbelievable. Now Jungkook looked slightly annoyed. I didn't do anything wrong. You were laughing with her. We were talking. I had no choice, Vine. She likes you. I know, and you still sit with her? Like I said, I wasn't going to cause a scene in the cafe. Vine shook her head. You should have. She stared at her. Vine, what? You trust me? I do. Then why are you angry? She opened her mouth then stopped because the truth was she wasn't angry. She was jealous, which was a very uncomfortable realization. I hate this, she muttered. Jungkook softened slightly. Hate what? This feeling. What feeling? She looked away. Jealousy? Jungkook walked closer. You don't need to be jealous. She looked back at him. I know. He gently touched her arm. You're the one I'm dating. Still, she's not important. Vine sighed. I know. He studied her face, then said quietly, You're cute when you're jealous. She shot his shoulder. Don't call me cute, he laughed. But the situation wasn't finished yet because Rohini wasn't done. The following Monday, something happened that surprised everyone, including Jungkook. He was walking across campus with Vine when Rohini suddenly appeared in front of them. She looked determined. Jungkook, yes, I think we should talk. Jungkook glanced at Vine briefly. About what? Privately? Vine immediately crossed her arms. No. Rohani raised an eyebrow. This isn't your decision. It absolutely is. Jungkook sighed. Rohani? But Rohani continued. I just want 5 minutes. Jungkook shook his head. I already told you I'm not interested. Rohani looked frustrated now. You didn't even try. I'm dating someone. You can break up. Vine stepped forward slightly. No, he can't. Rohini looked at her. You're very confident. Vine smiled sweetly. I'm very aware. Jungkook chuckled quietly beside her. Rohini sighed dramatically. Fine. She turned toward Jungkook. You're making a mistake. Then she walked away again. Vine watched her go, then turned toward Jungkook. Did just did that just happen? Yes. She shook her head. That girl is insane. Probably. Then Jungkook looked at her thoughtfully. You handled that well. I almost tackled her. I noticed. He smiled slightly, very protective. She pointed at him. You started it. How? You taught me how to kiss. He laughed. That's not related. It's in my mind. He pulled her a little closer. Well, I'm glad you're jealous. I'm not jealous. You just differed me like a warrior. That was different. How? I don't know. Django leaned closer. You like me? She rolled her eyes. Unfortunately, very unfortunate. She nudged him again. Stop teasing me. Never. Later that evening, Vine reflected on everything that had just happened. She realized something surprising. Even though Johannes had annoyed her, she wasn't actually worried because Django had never once given Rohini encouragement, not even slightly, which meant she trusted him completely, and that realization made her smile. Meanwhile, Jungkook texted her later that night. Still jealous? Maybe a little. His response came immediately. Good? Why good? Because it means you like me. She stared at the phone for a moment. Then typed, maybe I do. Then another message arrived. Come over tomorrow for practice. His answer, always. Every relationship eventually reaches a moment where things stop being easy. For Vine and Jungkook, that moment arrived 3 weeks after Rohini's last dramatic attempt. Until then, the relationship had been surprisingly smooth. Too smooth, which meant the universe decided it was time to cause problems. It started with something small, which was usually how their arguments began. Vine was sitting in the library working on an assignment when Jungkook arrived late, very late. He dropped into the chair across from her. Sorry. She looked up from her laptop. You're 40 minutes late. I got stuck with Marcus. You could have texted. My phone died. She stared at him for a moment, then returned to her work. Jungkook watched her carefully. You're annoyed? I'm not annoyed. You're definitely annoyed. I said I'm not annoyed. He leaned back in the chair. Okay. Silence would settle between them, but it wasn't the comfortable silence they usually shared. It was tense, sharp. Jungkook tapped his pen against the table. You're still annoyed. Vine sighed loudly. You promised you would help me with this assignment. I'm here now. It was due an hour ago. He blinked. Oh, yes. Oh. I thought it was due tomorrow. Vine closed her laptop slowly. You didn't even check? I have had a busy day, so have I. Now people nearby in the library were staring to glance at them. Jungkook lowered his voice. Vine. No, seriously. She stood up suddenly. You said you would help, and I forgot. I'm sorry. That's the problem. What? You forgot things. His expression hardened slightly. I don't forget important things. Oh, really? Yes, like meeting me on time? That's not what I meant. She grabbed her bag. Forget it. Vine, I'm going back to the room. Then she walked away. Jungkook watched her leave, and for the first time since they started dating, he didn't follow her immediately. Vine spent the rest of the afternoon feeling angry, which was confusing because logically she knew Jungkook hadn't done anything terrible. He was just late. People were late sometimes, but still, the irritation stayed. By evening, she was pacing around her dorm room. Mia watched her from the bed. You fought with Jungkook? Vine started saying, how do you know? You have been walking in circles for 20 minutes. Maybe. What happened? He forgot our study session. Mia raised an eyebrow. That's it. It was important. I'm sure it was. Wine flopped dramatically onto the bed. He was so frustrating. Mia smiled slightly. You used to say that when you hated him too. I don't hate him. I know, now it's worse. How? Now I like him. Mia laughed. Welcome to relationships. Meanwhile, Jungkook sat in his apartment staring at his phone. Marcus leaned against the kitchen counter. So you just fought. Jungkook sighed. Yes. What about? It was late. Marcus blinked. That's it. It was important to her. Marcus shrugged. Then apologize. I did. Clearly not well enough. Jungkook rubbed his forehead. She walked away. Marcus grinned. So good, chase her. I am giving her space. Marcus stared at him. You are an idiot. Thanks. No, seriously. Marcus grabbed his jacket. If you don't fix this, I will. Jungkook stood up quickly. Sit down. Then go talk to her. Jungkook hesitated. Maybe tomorrow. Marcus groaned loudly. You are getting impossible. The next day, things got worse because Rohani returned. Vine was sitting outside the campus cafe when Rohani approached her alone. Vine immediately felt suspicious. What do you want? Rohani smiled politely. I heard you and Jungkook argued yesterday. Vine narrowed her eyes. How do you know that? People talk. Of course they do. Rohini sat down across from her without asking. You know something? What? You and Jungkook are incompatible. Vine stared at her. Excuse me? You fight constantly, so eventually it will end. Vine leaned forward slightly. That's none of your business. Rohini shrugged. I'm just being honest. No, you're being annoying. Rohini smiled again. Jungkook needs someone calmer. Vine laughed. You clearly don't know Jungkook. Oh, I know him well enough. No, you don't. Rohini tilted her head slightly. He used to like me. Vine froze. What? Rohini's smile widened. Before you, Vine's stomach twisted. You're lying, am I? Vine stood up. This conversation is over. Rohini called after her. Just remember what I said. By the time Vine found Jungkook later that afternoon, she was already accepted. He spotted her approaching across campus and immediately noticed something was wrong. You look angry. She stopped in front of him. Did you ever like Rohini? Jungkook blinked. What? Did you? No. She said you did. She's lying. But you knew her. Barely. She said you liked her. Jungkook sighed. Why? What? Why would you believe Rohini over me? I didn't say I believe her. Then why are you asking me? Because she stopped. Because the real answer was uncomfortable. She was insecure, which she hated admitting. Jungkook watched her carefully. You don't trust me. That's not true. It sounds like it. She shook her head. You're twisting my words. I'm asking a simple question, and I asked the one first. They stood there glaring at each other, people walking past them slowly. Finally, Jungkook said quietly, I never liked Rohini. Never? Never. She looked at him carefully. Really? Yes. Silence. Then Jungkook sighed again. This is about yesterday too, isn't it? A little. I said I was sorry. I know. But you're still mad? I'm not mad. You're very mad. She looked away. Maybe a little. Jungkook stepped closer. You are allowed to be mad. She glanced back at him. But don't listen to Rohini. I won't. Promise? Promise. And the silence passed and Vine said quietly. You're still annoying me, you know. Jungkook smiled faintly. And you're still jealous. She showed his shoulder lightly. I hate you. No, you don't. She tried to stay angry, but it was impossible when he looked at her like that. Finally, she sighed. I'm sorry. For what? For overreacting? You didn't overreact. Yes, I did. He shrugged. You were jealous. That was not comforting. It's honest. She smiled reluctantly. Next time, just text me if you're late. Deal. Then Jungkook added quietly, and next time, don't believe that annoying Rohini. She nodded. Deal. He looked at her for a moment, then said softly, Come here. She stepped closer, and when he kissed her, it felt different from all their playful kisses before. Softer, more reassuring, like they had both learned something important. When they pulled apart, one smiled slightly. You know something? What? This relationship is exhausting. Jungkook laughed only a little, but it's worth it, I said. He smiled, definitely. After Vine and Jungkook made up from their fight, things between them felt calmer. Not perfect, they still argued sometimes, but that was part of their personality. But something had changed. Their arguments didn't feel like battles anymore. They felt like two people learning how to understand each other, and for a while, everything was peaceful, which when Rohani had one more final move left. It happened during the university festival. Every semester, the campus hosted a huge evening event music, food stalls, lights everywhere. Students laughing and wandering between booths. Wine arrived with Mia and Shake around sunset. The entire campus looked different with the strings of lights hanging between the trees. This place looks magical, Mia said. Jake grabbed a skewer from the food stall. I'm just here for the food. Wine checked her phone. A message from Jungkook appeared. Where are you? She typed back. Near the stage. 3 dots appeared immediately. Coming. Her heart did that little jump again, which was ridiculous because she had been dating him for months now, but somehow he still had that effect on her. Jake noticed her smile. Oh no, what? You're texting him again? So, you're smiling. That means nothing. It means everything. Mia laughed. Leave her alone. Jake pointed it dramatically. This relationship still shocks me. Get used to it, Vine said. A few minutes later, Jungkook appeared through the crowd. Vine spotted him immediately. Tall, dark jacket. That calm, confident walk she had noticed long before they started dating. He stopped in front of them. Hey, Jake shook his head. I still can't believe this. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. You will survive, Mia smiled. We are going to get drinks. Jake grabbed Mia's arm. Yes, we are. Vine watched them disappear. You scared them away. They escaped intentionally. She laughed. Jungkook looked at her carefully. You look happy. I am. He smiled slightly. Good. They walked through the festival together, stopping at different booths, trying random food, watching the stage performance. At one point, Vine grabbed his hand without thinking. Jungkook glanced down at their hands, then back to her. You're getting bold. She shrugged. I'm practicing. He laughed quietly. You're still using that excuse. It worked before. Yes, it did. Unfortunately, peace never lasted long because Rohani appeared again. This time, she wasn't smiling. She walked straight toward them through the crowd. Jungkook noticed her first. He sighed quietly. Not again. Wang turned. Oh, Rohani stepped in front of her. Her expression was tense. We need to talk. Jungkook shook his head. No, Rohani ignored him. She looked directly at Vine. You deserve to know something. Vine crossed her arms. This should be interesting. Rohani took a breath. Jungkook only started dating her because he wanted to win a bet. The words hung in the air. For a moment, the music from the stage seemed far away. Vine slowly turned toward Jungkook. What? Jungkook's expression hardened instantly. That's not true, Rohani continued. He told Marcus last year that he could make you fall for him. Vine's heart dropped slightly. Jungkook stepped forward. Stop. Rohani looked satisfied. Ask him yourself. Vine looked at Jungkook again. Is it true? Jungkook shook his head immediately. No, why would I do that? Rohani laughed softly. You expect her to believe that? Jungkook's voice became sharp. I never made that bet or any bet. Marcus told me. Marcus may be joking. Rohani crossed her arms. Convenient. People nearby were staring to notice the tension now. Vine looked between them, her thoughts spinning. Jungkook. He stepped closer to her. Vine, listen to me. Rohani spoke again. If you stay with him, you are being naive. Jungkook turned toward her. That's enough. Rohani smiled. You can't hide the truth forever. Then she walked away into the crowd, leaving silence behind. Vine stood there for several seconds, processing everything. Jungkook watched her carefully. Why? She looked at him. You never made a bet. No, not even joking, never. She studied his face, trying to see if he was lying. But Jungkook wasn't smiling, he wasn't teasing. He looked serious, hurt even. Why would she say that? She asked quietly, I don't know. Marcus mentioned something like that once. Jungkook sighed, that idiot. So it came from somewhere, yes, but it wasn't a bet. Then what was said? Jungkook hesitated, then he admitted, Marcus joked that I argue with you so much because I liked you. Mind blinked. What? I told him that was ridiculous, and he said I should just rate you already. She stared at him. That's not a bad, I know. Silence passed and Vine sighed. Rohani twisted up. Exactly. He looked frustrated now. I should talk to Marcus. Later, she looked up at him again. You really didn't start dating me because of a bet? His expression softened. Vine, what? If this had been a bet, he stepped closer. I would have just lost the moment I realized I actually liked you. Her heart skipped again. That was a smooth answer. It's the truth. She studied him for another moment, then smiled slightly. You're still annoying, and you still like me, unfortunately. He laughed sourly. A little while later, they sat on the grass near the stage watching the lights. Vine leaned against his shoulder. You know something? What? Our relationship started in the weirdest way possible. That's true. You taught me how to kiss. Yes, we argued for 2 years. Also true. And now we are here. Shingo glanced down at her. No more enemies. No more enemies. She looked up at him. But I still win arguments. He snorted. Debatable. She nudged him. I definitely win arguments. Sure you do. Silence settled between them again, comfortable this time. Then Jungkook spoke quietly. You know what the funniest part is? What? I thought the kissing lessons would be the hardest part, and they were the easy part. She tilted her head. What was the hard part? Admitting I liked you? Vine smiled softly. You took your time. Yes, I did. She nudged him again. You should thank me. For what? For accepting your lessons? He laughed. I definitely should. Then he looked at her with that familiar playful expression. You know, practice. She raised an eyebrow. Practice? Yes. With kissing? She rolled her eyes and leaned closer. Maybe I am. Then come here. And under the soft festival lights, Vine kissed him first, just like she had started doing lately, not because she needed lessons anymore, but because she wanted to. When they pulled apart, Jungkook smiled. Best student I have ever had. She laughed. Best enemy I have ever dated. And just like that, the enemies who once couldn't stand each other ended up choosing each other every single day.